Long before store shelves and plastic bags, potatoes came from patience, not pressure, from soil that was listened to, not forced. There were no machines humming, no chemicals poured, no aching backs at the end of the day. There was just one quiet habit old gardeners trusted: build the soil first. Then let the potatoes do the work. Layer organic matter, keep the ground loose, and add soil slowly as the plants grow. This simple rhythm protects roots, boosts yields, and saves your back. It isn't fast. It isn't flashy. But it turns a small patch of earth into baskets of food, just like it always has. Many seniors remember a time when potatoes weren't treated like a one-season gamble. You planted them once, and somehow, year after year, they kept coming back strong from the very same spot. Not because the seed potatoes were magical, not because fertilizers were fancy, but because the method respected how potatoes actually grow underground. Back then, gardens moved at a slower pace. People watched the soil. They noticed how potato plants don't like to struggle upward through hard earth. They understood that potatoes form along the stem, not deep in the ground, and that gently covering those stems over time made all the difference. Each layer of soil was like a quiet promise: there's room to grow here. This wasn't about rushing nature or forcing bigger harvests overnight. It was about working with the plant instead of against it. You loosened the soil. You added compost, leaves, or straw. As the plant grew taller, you slowly hilled soil around it, letting new potatoes form higher up, protected from sun and stress. The ground stayed cool, moisture stayed in, weeds stayed out, and the gardener's back stayed a little happier. That's why the same patch could be used again and again. Healthy soil wasn't exhausted, it was fed. The method built strength underground long before harvest day ever came. Today, that wisdom still works. You don't need machines, chemicals, or endless digging. Just patience, observation, and a willingness to let the soil lead the way. Start with loose, living soil. Add organic matter. Hill gently as the plant grows. And when harvest time comes, you'll remember why this old way never truly disappeared. Before we dig in together, tap like and subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, where old knowledge still feeds new gardens, and quiet methods still bring full baskets. The secret potato method, hilling done right. Here's the secret most people overlook, and it changes everything once you understand it. Potatoes don't grow deeper, they grow upward. Every potato forms along the stem, not far below the seed. Each time the plant stretches taller, it's quietly asking for more cover. When that stem is gently buried, it responds by forming more potatoes along its length. Miss that step, and you miss half the harvest. Old-time gardeners didn't need charts or soil tests to know this. They watched their plants. And what they practiced was something simple, patient, and proven: a method called progressive hilling. It starts humbly. You plant your seed potatoes about 4 inches deep in loose soil. Nothing fancy, just enough cover to get them started. Then you wait. When the green shoots rise 6 to 8 inches tall, that's your cue, not to dig, not to disturb the roots, but to add gently. You mound soil, straw, dried leaves, or compost around the base of the plant, not burying it completely, just enough to leave the top leaves exposed to sunlight. Those leaves keep feeding the plant, while the buried stem quietly gets to work forming new potatoes underneath. Then you repeat. Every few weeks, as the plant grows taller, you add another soft layer. Each layer is like opening a new floor in an underground pantry. More room, more protection, more yield, without extra strain on your body. This method keeps the soil cool, holds moisture longer, and shields developing potatoes from sunlight that can turn them bitter. Weeds struggle to break through, and your back doesn't suffer from constant digging or bending. There's no rushing here, no chemicals to pour, no machines to manage, just steady observation and gentle care. That's why it worked for generations, and why it still works today. Progressive hilling isn't a trick. It's cooperation. You give the plant what it's asking for, right when it needs it. And in return, it fills your basket quietly, faithfully, the way it always has. Why this method produces bigger yields. This method works not because it's clever, but because it listens. Potatoes are quiet growers. They don't ask for attention, only the right conditions. When progressive hilling is done properly, the soil becomes a shield and a support system all at once. Each gentle layer creates a safer, calmer place for potatoes to form, grow, and mature without stress. First, Hilling keeps potatoes cool and protected. Underground temperatures stay steadier when soil is layered instead of compacted. Heat spikes and cold nights don't shock the developing tubers. In that calm environment, potatoes focus on growing, not surviving. Second, it blocks sunlight. Any potato exposed to light turns green and bitter, a natural warning sign. Old gardeners knew this instinctively. By steadily covering the stem, every new potato stays tucked safely in the dark, where it belongs. Nothing wasted. Nothing ruined. Moisture is another quiet victory here. Layered soil, straw, or compost holds water like a sponge, releasing it slowly instead of letting it evaporate or run off. The roots aren't flooded, and they aren't left dry. They grow deeper, stronger, and more evenly, which means healthier plants above ground and heavier harvests below. There's also less stress on the plant itself. Instead of pushing roots through hard, packed soil, potatoes expand into soft, forgiving layers. Stress-free roots mean better nutrient uptake, steadier growth, and fewer problems as the season goes on. Older gardeners understood something modern ads often forget. Healthy soil beats expensive products every time. They didn't chase quick fixes. They built living soil slowly, feeding it with organic matter, protecting it from extremes, and trusting natural rhythms. That patience paid off in full baskets, year after year. This method doesn't fight nature. It partners with it. And when you work with the soil instead of against it, the soil gives back more than any bag on a store shelf ever could. Frugal bonus tip: using straw or dry leaves. Long before bags of soil and specialty fertilizers lined store shelves, many seniors relied on what they already had. Straw from the barn, dry leaves raked from the yard, even old hay that had outlived its use. Nothing wasted. Everything useful. They chose these materials for a simple reason. They were lighter than soil and far easier on the body. As potato plants grew taller, gardeners gently tucked straw or leaves around the stems. Instead of lifting heavy dirt, no strain, no overexertion, just steady, manageable movements that respected aging backs and knees. There was another quiet benefit too. Harvesting became a pleasure instead of a chore. When it was time to collect potatoes, you didn't dig for hours or wrestle with stubborn ground. You simply pulled back the mulch with your hands and found clean, well-formed potatoes resting underneath. No sore knees, no aching wrists, just the quiet satisfaction of a job done the gentle way. Straw and dry leaves also helped the soil itself. They kept moisture from evaporating too quickly, shaded the ground from heat, and slowly broke down to feed the earth. Weeds struggled to push through. The soil stayed loose and alive, and the potatoes grew in a calm, protected space. This wasn't about cutting corners. It was about working smarter, not harder, using what nature and the season already provided. That kind of wisdom came from experience, from years of listening to the garden instead of forcing it. Did your parents or grandparents use straw or leaves when planting potatoes? Share your memory in the comments. Someone out there will smile reading it. And old wisdom deserves to be remembered. Common mistake to avoid. Even the best old methods can fail if they're pushed too hard. Gardening, especially with potatoes, is not about doing more. It's about doing things gently and at the right time. Many problems don't come from neglect, but from good intentions taken too far. First, don't bury the leaves completely. Potato plants still need sunlight to make energy. When hilling, always leave the top leaves exposed and breathing. If the entire plant is smothered, growth slows, stress increases, and yields drop. Old gardeners watched closely. They covered the stem, not the life of the plant. Second, don't overwater. Potatoes hate soggy soil. Too much water pushes air out of the ground, and roots begin to rot instead of grow. The soil should feel moist, not wet. If water puddles or smells sour, it's already too much. Let the soil dry slightly between watering. Healthy roots need both moisture and oxygen. Third, be cautious with grocery store potatoes. Many are treated to prevent sprouting and disease, which can lead to weak plants or failure altogether. If you use them, make sure they've sprouted naturally and show no signs of treatment or rot. Seed potatoes or untreated, well-sprouted tubers give far better results and fewer surprises. These mistakes don't come from laziness. They come from rushing, from trying to force growth instead of allowing it. Old-time gardeners knew when to step in and when to step back. They paid attention. They adjusted. and they trusted that steady care always beats aggressive effort. Good gardening isn't loud. It doesn't rush. It's quiet, patient, and observant, and that's what makes it work. Potatoes have a way of teaching lessons without speaking. They remind us that you don't need more effort. You need the right rhythm. Not rushing, not forcing, just paying attention. Layer by layer, you respond to growth instead of demanding it. Season by season, you learn when to act and when to wait. Each gentle layer of soil or straw is an act of trust. You cover the stem, step back, and allow time to do what only time can do. Underground, unseen, the work continues. And when harvest finally comes, the reward feels deeper than food alone. It feels earned, patient, and honest. For many, this way of gardening brings back memories. A parent kneeling slowly. A grandparent showing how to tuck soil, just so. A quiet yard in the morning, where nothing was rushed and everything had its place. That wisdom didn't come from books or ads. It came from watching, failing, learning, and trying again. And for those planting again after years away, let this be encouragement. You haven't lost the touch. Good gardening doesn't leave you. It waits for you. The soil remembers, and so does your body. If this video stirred a memory, or gave you the confidence to plant again, like this video, share it with a fellow gardener, and subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors. Because wisdom doesn't age. It grows.